Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is your boy Fitzmonk TV here, aka Jalorn33, back with another video on the channel for you guys today. And today, it feels so good to be doing a Dragon Ball Super news video. I can't remember the last one we did. It was probably way back in March when the Dragon Ball Super Manga went on hiatus. And then, of course, we had the unfortunate passing of the legend Akira Toriyama. And Dragon Ball Super Manga has been on hiatus all year. For a variety of factors. I think the biggest one, of course, is obviously Toriyama's passing, and there's been a huge a lot of stuff going down behind the scenes at Toei Shueisha with who owns the Dragon Ball IP. Now that Toriyama has passed away, is it Toriyama's son, who's not really a manga artist? Is it Toei? So, like, what's the deal, right? But at Jump Festa this past weekend, you guys know Jump Festa is like the biggest anime convention in the world. They announced tons of new things, new movies, new anime for all the top anime. And Dragon Ball had a big stage. I believe it was the Red Stage, which is one of the main stages at Jump Fiesta. And we were hoping to get some kind of big announcement. Was it going to be a new Dragon Ball Super movie? Was it going to be the return of the Dragon Ball Super manga, right? Of course, I know some people are still holding out hope that we'll get the Dragon Ball Super anime back. I don't think it's coming back anytime soon. Maybe maybe the end of next year we'll get an announcement, but I'm not expecting the return of the anime at least in 2025 as of right now. But things could change. But the big thing that we did get is the return of the Dragon Ball Super manga. Not a new arc, right? This video is really just to clear things up for you guys because I am seeing a lot of clickbait on YouTube. A lot of people saying all these things. The manga is officially back, all that. It is back, but it's not 100% back, right? And I'm going to explain that to you guys. This is where you guys are going to get the most accurate information, all right? So if you have anybody asking you, what's going on with the Dragon Ball Super manga? Is it officially back? Point them to this video. This is your home for all big things Dragon Ball Super. Right? So earlier this year, Toritaro, they do, of course, these like weekly, monthly Dragon Ball broadcasts in Japan where they talk about news going on with the Dragon Ball franchise, from video games to, merch to, anime, whatever, right? And Toritaro was on there, and they were, talking about some of Toritaro's favorite moments from the manga. And Toritaro, he is now being referenced as the creator of Dragon Ball Super, right? He is the main author, right? Before it was him and Toriyama, right? Toriyama would more just do the corrections and the main story, and Toritaro would be in charge of putting it all together with the art and everything. But now that Toriyama has passed, they've kind of basically given the mantle to Toritaro. Toritaro has full creative direction over the Dragon Ball Super manga, right? And that's a lot. That's a lot for him to handle. Because at the end of the day, yes, he was the main guy, especially behind like the Moro and the Granola arcs, but it was Toriyama's story. Toriyama was the one that made that story. Toritaro was able to take the main bullet points of Toriyama's story and then craft it all together, right? Now, anything coming out going forward for Dragon Ball Super, right, will be Toritaro. Unless we don't know, my hope is that Toriyama left him, like maybe some future story ideas or some outlines for some future either arcs or movies, right? We know that, of course, for example, for Daima, right, when they were creating Daima, the plan was for a lot of the main characters of Dragon Ball Daima to come back in a future Dragon Ball Super story arc. We don't know if that's still the case, but we know that was the plan. As of, before Toriyama's passing, right? So with Toritaro now being in charge, right, Toritaro can do whatever he wants. But one thing that's important to notice is, as Dragon Ball fans, yes, Toriyama's death was heartbreaking, and it's still hard to believe that he's no longer with us, and we're never going to get, a full-on Toriyama story again, really. But for Toritaro, right, he worked directly with Toriyama. He looked up to Toriyama, right? Toriyama was like his teacher, And for that, we can't imagine, the kind of grief that Toritaro's had to go through most of this year, right? You also have to think about it is that maybe especially with everything that's been going on behind the scenes at Toei, with everything going on with the Dragon Ball IP, right? You also got to think about for Toritaro, would he feel comfortable taking over fully the Dragon Ball Super story without Toriyama? Is he comfortable yet fully having everything rely on him? Because anything coming out, especially for Dragon Ball Super going forward, it's going to be him. Any future arcs, probably any future movies, that would be him. So would he feel comfortable taking that over? That's a lot to think about. It's especially with Dragon Ball, one of the greatest animes of all time. That's a lot of pressure. A lot of pressure. We've been critical about Toritaro in the past here on this channel, and of course, many other people have as well. But he always had Toriyama behind him. Now, anything coming out would be fully him. So it's a lot to think about. So, of course, we got the announcement of a new Dragon Ball Super one-shot that will be coming out in the V-Jump April 2025 issue, but that will be releasing in February, right? So February will mark the return of a one-shot chapter. This one-shot will be about Trunks and Goten and Clean God. So it's kind of it's a side story per se. It's only a one-shot chapter. It's only one chapter. There's I know there's some more details. But yeah. So it's about Klingon. So you guys remember before when they did the prelude to the superhero arc in the manga, right? They were kind of exploring Trunks and Goten, in high school and their affirmation over Klingon, right? And we know that Trunks and Goten became superheroes themselves, kind of like Gohan and Videl were in high school. And basically, this is just going to be a side story. So it is like officially part of the manga, but it's really just a one-shot chapter, right? So it's not going to be an arc or anything like that, right? So, I do expect it because one thing that, and DBS Hype mentions it here, the one-shot chapter is going to be special for them to announce it at 3 different stages: the V-Jump stage, the Diver stage, and the Diamond stage. So there was multiple Dragon Ball stages at Jump Fiesta, and they kept mentioning it at over and over again at multiple different panels. So here's the official announcement. So you can see, of course, you got Trunks, Goten, and Clean God. So we don't know what's the story going to be about. I don't expect it to be anything crazy. If I'm being honest with you guys, I'm not going to sit here and say I'm super pumped for it, right? I'm more just excited just to have some fresh Dragon Ball Super manga content, But this is why you guys should still at least be, what's the word? What's the word I'm looking for? You guys should feel good about the future of the Dragon Ball Super manga, because the fact that we're getting a one-shot chapter, that means that Toritaro is starting to officially write and draw again. He's had almost the last year off. All he's been really doing is like little art projects here and there for different conventions. We know, like, of course, he made that image of like UI Goku for like New York Comic Con and things like that, right? But none of that, is like actually making a full chapter, right? So he's basically had 1 year off, of course, since Toriyama's passing. And he's done a couple side projects for like the Dragon Ball Super Divers manga, which is just a promotional manga for like Dragon Ball Super Divers, which is the new card game in Japan. That's separate, that replaced Dragon Ball Heroes, which concluded just a couple months ago. But this is now officially part of the DBS manga. So, I feel like this, in a way, is more for Toritaro to get comfortable again, right? He hasn't written anything for the Dragon Ball Super manga. He probably has ideas and stuff like that of what he wants to do for the next arc, but he hasn't, written or drawn anything officially in almost a year. So this is probably just something nice, like some nice slice of life content, to get him back into the groove a little bit, right? Get the fans excited, just have some official DBS manga content. And then from there, this is when I expect things to pick up. I think, and this is just my prediction. We're going to get more information on this one-shot manga, how long it's going to be next month, right? In the January V-Jump edition. And in February, it'll officially reach out. So February, we'll get like the spoilers and everything like that. But what I'm thinking is, shortly after we get the one shot, that's when we will get the reveal of the next Dragon Ball Super arc. Right, we're gonna get. I could definitely see it as like at the end of the one shot. That's when you get like a teaser for whatever the next arc is. If it's the Black Frieza arc, if it's gonna be something else, right? Or maybe Goku meets Oob finally, because we know we're very, very, very close to that point in the timeline, right? But look at it like this. DBS Type says the new one shot is a side story. We'll know more about it next month. Currently, no news about monthly chapters resuming. Though, if I had to guess, I'll guess that'd be announced shortly after the new one shot. But let's see, right? So, at Jump Fiesta, Toritaro did make a new illustration. He's been making lots of these this year, right? And of course, this is Black Frieza. You get the cool thing is with Black Frieza, you can see he has like kind of that metallic look here, right? But the fact that he made this illustration, he wants you to keep in mind, like, hey, Black Frieza's out there. We know last time we saw Black Frieza, he one-shotted Goku and Vegeta at the end of the Granola arc, right? So what would make sense is for Black Frieza to be the next villain, right? Or to be, the next arc, however they want to do it. And however they want to do it, I'm game. I don't care if they want to wait for Goku to meet Oob, if they want to do that afterwards, right? But it makes sense for that to be the next arc. And the one last thing I also want to mention is Dragon Ball Daima, right? And I talked about how some of those characters could be involved in a future Dragon Ball Super arc. But what's also interesting here is how this all lines up, right? Dragon Ball Daima or based on what we've heard, Dragon Ball Daima will be around 20 episodes, right? We're about halfway through the series. We just had episode 11 last week, depending on when you guys are watching this. And what we heard is it's gonna be around 20 something episodes, right? So based off that logic, since we've got an episode every single week, Daima should end right around, let's say, around March, mid-Marches, right? And then, that would be perfect timing. Like, say, hey, Daima's about to wrap up. Here's the return of the Dragon Ball Super Manga, right? And of course, it's not like a new move. And I definitely think, it is possible that, a new Dragon Ball Super movie gets announced around there as well, right? I think it's very unlikely that the anime gets announced a return, after that. I do think it will return eventually, but I just think it's unlikely to be announced for next year. But, like I said, I could be wrong. But I do find it ironic how we're getting the one shot around February where Daima will be, near its end, right? Probably with their, the final battle, however that's going to look like. And then, from there we get maybe the official announcement of the manga returning for March, right around when Daima's supposed to wrap up, right? So I think that, it all kind of ties in perfectly, and it's like Dragon Ball saying, hey, we are fully back, Daima ends, but we're gonna keep the energy up and then lead that right into the the return of the manga, and then whatever the next animated project is, which I think will probably be a movie. But like I said, we don't know any of that at this time. Other than that, though, like I said, that's the truth of the situation. The DBS manga is coming back. It's coming back for February with this one shot, and most likely, but not confirmed, after that the manga will officially resume probably in March with monthly chapters. We don't know what it would look like. We don't know what the next arc will be, even though I think most of us believe it'll probably be Black Frieza. It could be something completely different. We don't know. But we just gotta be patient for right now. But the fact that we are getting the return of the manga in February, right, with this one-shot chapter, should mean good things for the future of the DBS manga as a whole, right? And we'll just have to see what that also means for the rest of the Dragon Ball franchise. Will a new movie get announced soon? Will a new anime get announced? Who knows? But like I said, it's just good to see that things are picking up for Dragon Ball here for the early part of 2025. Right? And Toritaro himself said that he has many more battles that he wants to draw in the future. So, like I said, he has more stuff. It's just a matter of when will he, start drawing again officially for whatever the next arc is. This side story isn't a new arc. It's just a one shot. It's just a side story. But I do think, the DBS manga will officially be back with monthly chapters and the start of a new arc sometime, late winter, early spring next year. March, April, somewhere around there. But like I said, we'll just have to wait and see and then take it from there. But let me know in the comment section what you guys think. What do you think Dorotaro is cooking? Are you guys excited for the one shot? Do you guys think this will lead to the official return of the DBS manga? Let me know in the comment section what you guys think. Other than that, I will see you guys later. Make sure to leave a like on this video if you guys enjoyed. Subscribe if you guys are new to the channel by hitting the bell right next to my name, Fitzmonk TV, so you guys are notified every time I post a new video. I'm going to get out of here. You guys stay safe and healthy. Peace.